I guess it all started more than 25 years ago as a new Qantas flight attendant. I remember early in my career flying into Paris and the chief flight attendant said, "We're all going to the Champagne region." I was so excited. We had a short nap. We were still really jet lagged. We packed a few spare clothes and we jumped on a train and we headed north to Reims in the Champagne region. It was an amazing 2 days. I must admit that I didn't realise Champagne was a place, and I thought that every wine bubbles was called Champagne. I was amazed by the history of the place and the passion and the pride that these people had in their prized beverage. From that moment on, I was hooked, and since then I visited most of the great wine regions of the world. I love taking home wines and sharing them with family and friends, and telling the story behind the wines, the labels and the regions. I guess my love affair with Australian wines began when I started working in first class and was exposed to iconic labels and sublime gold medal wines. I remember on quiet night sectors, reading the labels, smelling the wines and researching them on Halliday's Wine Companion. I'd go to tastings and visit cellar doors. I even did a Perth and Melbourne basing just so I could go to more wine regions. I was thirsty for wine knowledge, and I knew that I'd have to jump in headfirst and do the industry benchmark, which was a Bachelor of Wine Marketing from Adelaide University. It was tough going, but it validated and endorsed my wine knowledge. You may know that the Endeavour Group is the largest customer of the Australian wine industry, but what you may not know is that Qantas is the third largest customer. And rather than retail the wines, they are served complimentary on our international and most of our domestic flights, which makes for a very different proposition. Unfortunately, this did highlight a huge skill shortage amongst our cabin crew, who are the last link in this long chain that begins in the vineyard and ends up in the customer's glass. There was too much at risk and too many stakeholders involved. I was then approached by management to help fill this skills gap, and so began the journey for Sommelier in the Sky program, a series of bespoke and comprehensive wine training courses, the first for any airline in the world. These courses were so good and so successful that they were endorsed by Wine Australia. Any flight attendant could complete these courses and sit for an exam, and they would earn this pin, which was highly sought after and very respected. And can I say, our exam was much tougher than the WSET. In 2007, we won the Qantas Group Award for Innovation. We saved the company millions by doing everything in-house. These courses are still running to this day. Every new flight attendant and every flight attendant promoted to first and business class will go through one of our courses. I'm also involved with Qantas Wine Week, where the in-flight wines are selected from over 1,800 submissions. It's a very exhausting week, but it's also very rewarding and educational. And just prior to COVID-19, I was involved in a project where I would fly around the world and train our lounge staff. They're employed by the Sofitel Group, but they all wear a Qantas uniform. So for brand standards and consistency, we saw it necessary to train them as well. Wow, hard question. So many wines and they're always changing. Of course, I'm very impartial to champagne due to my early introduction, and because it represents decadence, luxury and success, just like me. My favourite red wine would be Pinot Noir, very hard grape to grow and very hard wine to make well. The more developed, earthy, forest floor, mushroom, barnyard characters, the better. I would just like to thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself. I believe that I'm the best candidate for the position of wine merchant at your Castle Hill store for the following 4 reasons. Firstly, I have exceptional customer service experience. Secondly, I have a proven track record of working in a dynamic team environment. Thirdly, I have deep and comprehensive wine knowledge. And finally, I have the passion and ability to share this knowledge with customers and colleagues alike. Thank you for your consideration.